What's this brand you're using?
So this is White Sands, and it's a liquid texture, and it just gives the hair that really gritty feel before we go in and style it. I'm just going to section up to measure my halo, see where I want to place it.
We usually say if you've got really thick blunt hair, you pull over less. Do you do that with yours? Like,
yeah, so that you can
less.
hide. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I kind of do this a few times and then just see how I like it.
Yeah.
Jemma is quite tall, so I'm just going to spray the roots of the halo a little bit. I'm going to use the Light Brown by L'Oreal. And this is just because Gemma's roots are a little bit darker than her ends. And especially through the sides here, because we've got quite fine hair, we don't want the hair sort of parting, and you'll see that really...
That bright blonde.
That bright blonde.
And that's like a washout.
It just washes out. It's a tip. You can actually use it for grey hairs. That's what I used it for originally. And then, and then I discovered this technique. So, and I kind of spray downwards sometimes just to like, I'm almost like ombreing it a little bit.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
And so I do a lighter colour first, and then I might even just go through with a little bit of a darker brown just at the very base.
And where do you get these from?
You can get these from Priceline.
Amazing.
Bargain. But this is more true to Gemma's root colour. So I just like doing the lighter colour first so I can just fade this.
And you don't have to wash it out straight away,
No,
do you?
I actually don't even, I've done mine once and then just left it on my personal one. Yeah. But yeah, you definitely do not have to wash this out every time. I recommend leaving it because I feel like it kind of settles and it works better in the hair after a few wears. And I'm just using my comb just so before the spray dries, just to kind of blend it out. And I just think now if the wind blows or if our hair parts or we want to do an up style, we just don't have to worry so much about those roots. Whoopsie. That has blended so seamlessly.
Yeah, looks good.
And you could just pop some sea salt spray in that hair and you would be good to go. So I'm just going to show you how you can build on that. So I'm just spraying the section again with that thermal texture. And I'm using a H2D curling wand, and this is actually the largest size barrel. And what I'm going to do is create all different shapes and textures throughout the hair. So each curl won't be the same, and I might even leave some pieces not curled. Some pieces I might curl only halfway. And this is creating all different textures and shapes in the hair. So we don't want it to be perfect and symmetrical.
Awesome.
Some of them I might pull on while it's cooling down so it relaxes it a little bit. And I'm just going to spray each section with a little bit of the NAC hairspray. This is like more of a styling spray, so it doesn't have a lot of lacquer to it, so you can brush it out and it makes the hair kind of more textured rather than that stiff lacquer old-fashioned look. It also means too that hairspray is super workable. We could create 4 different hairstyles, and the hairspray doesn't go crunchy. You can brush it out.
Yeah. And you should never style on top of hairspray, right? Like with heat.
They say you shouldn't, but you know, I guess it depends on the product that you're using. Usually, if it's a brushable hairspray, you should be fine. If you were coating the hair in a thick lacquer, I would be cautious because you're heating up alcohol on the hair.
Yeah, it's flammable.
Yeah, exactly. As you can see, I'm just taking rough sections, creating different shapes. I love a clampless wand too because you have the ability to do this. You can create all different textures and shapes without having that clamp always defining everything. So I'm going forward with this one, but the previous one I went backwards so that my curls aren't all going in the same direction. So I'm taking my sections also to a different width. So some of them are thicker pieces and finer pieces, which I think is a really key part to creating that really undone finish. Because I like to kind of pick up and fan out each curl, just to kind of aerate them and make sure that I'm not just coating the outer layer with hairspray. I'm coating in and throughout the barrel of the curl and taking some weight out, so when I go to brush this out, I've got an even distribution of product. This is a sea salt texture spray, and I am just gonna Pop a little bit of that and scrunch it in, let it dry, and then I'll go through and brush it out. This is just to kind of, again, put some texture in. It'll just help like kind of mush all the curls together before I go and brush it out.
Really is about all the product, isn't it?
I feel like it is. I do think you could achieve a similar look without so many products.
Yeah.
But I think it just makes it quicker, it's more time efficient, and the products definitely help
well, for photos and stuff, like what we're doing today, it's good. But yeah, like
100%.
We don't normally recommend people put so many products in their halo but you're right, you can achieve these looks without it. But it's, I guess if you want that extra grit or something.
Especially for such a textured look like this, you do need a bit of a texture product in there. The White Sands does have a bit of thermal protect to it as well though, which is why I like using it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and comb out randomly these pieces because I want to separate and define, and I want to make sure that the curls aren't curling into themselves because it needs to look like she's got really naturally beautiful beachy textured hair. Just being careful not to pull too much on the hair because Jemma's got quite fine hair. I don't want to completely pull out that way, so I'm just being quite gentle with it. I've just got my I think it's a Cloud 9 on, and what I want to do is I'm just going to relax any sort of hard shapes or anything that looks too perfect. And I love doing this technique. It's just like a tapping motion, and it's just also to ensure that even though we've put a really textured and undone wave through, that our ends don't want to curl into each other, because when they curl into each other, that's when the hair starts to look very pretty and styled, whereas we want this to look like she's just like walked out of the beach. So this is one of my favorite products. It is the Kevin Murphy Bedroom Hair.
I love that product.
The best.
It's so good.
And it's a good alternative for hairspray if you've got fine hair. I love this because it's so lightweight, and it's just going to add amazing texture and grit to the hair without weighing it down with a lacquer or an alcohol-based product. It's great through the roots too to give you that little bit of body. I think that's too neat. I find too, by having your ends really fluffy, instead of having them curl into themselves, makes the hair appear thicker and fuller as well. Head down slightly. Chin. I like to put the chin down so I can cup that fringe, and I call it the curtain, so it comes kind of down and shapes around the face. I feel like I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.